Like, Dr. Devi Shetty's Narayana Health is acquiring Practice Plus group of hospitals in UK to make medical services affordable in UK. Wow! Breaking news, Narayana Health, a prominent Indian healthcare provider, has just made a monumental move, acquiring the UK's Practice Plus group hospitals in a deal valued at a staggering 2,200 Indian rupees crore. This acquisition isn't just a business transaction, it's a strategic leap onto the global stage. The deal, finalized through an all-cash transaction, grants Narayana Health complete ownership of Practice Plus Group Hospitals Limited. This is a significant step, executed via Narayana Hrudayalaya UK Limited, a subsidiary of Health City Cayman Islands Limited. So, what does this mean for Narayana Health? This acquisition hands Narayana Health control over a comprehensive network, 7 hospitals, 3 surgical centers, 2 urgent treatment units, and numerous diagnostic and ophthalmology centers, boasting a combined capacity of 330 beds. Like, ex-Google CEO Eric Schmidt 70, has reportedly paid millions to settle claims of his ex-girlfriend Michelle Ritter, 31.
What we need from you, if I may say that directly, is we need energy in all forms, renewable, non-renewable, whatever. It needs to be there and it needs to be quickly. People are planning 10 gigawatt data centers. Just to do the translation, an average nuclear power plant in the United States is 1 gigawatt. How many nuclear power plants can we make in 1 year where we're planning this 10 gigawatt data center? It gives you a sense of how big this crisis is. Many people think that the demand of energy that our industry takes will go from 3% to 99% of total generation. One of the estimates that I think is most likely is that data centers will require an additional 29 gigawatts of power by 2027 and 67 more gigawatts by 2030. It gives you a sense of the scale that we're talking. These things are industrial at a scale I have never seen in my life.
And it is reported that Satya Nadella earned $96 million in the fiscal year 2025. Luckily, Satya has no known girlfriend.
Microsoft Chief Executive Officer Satya Nadella's annual compensation jumped to $96.5 million.
Like, Senator Elizabeth Warren has demanded an investigation into Barclays Bank CEO Jay Stanley's links with pedophile Jeff Epstein. Justified demand. Like, at $5 trillion, Nvidia has become first company to achieve this landmark, in a league of its own.
Wednesday, Nvidia became the first company in history to be valued at $5 trillion, the latest milestone by the artificial intelligence giant, as shares have grown exponentially over the last decade. Nvidia, valued at just over $10 billion in 2015, quickly became the world's most valuable company as demand for AI software and hardware has skyrocketed. Among Nvidia's largest customers are OpenAI, Elon Musk's Tesla and xAI, Meta, Amazon, and Oracle, whose similar market rise has boosted the net worth of Chairman Larry Ellison to challenge Musk as the world's richest person.
Like, Trump and Xi met in Busan, South Korea. Despite use of superlatives and usual tom-toming by Trump, the meeting failed. Net reported cold reaction by Xi. Peace deal. Ceasefire for a few months.
The People's Republic of China is Good
to meet you. Great pleasure to see you again.
Good to see you again.
Me too.
And we're going to have a very successful meeting, I have no doubt. But he's a very tough negotiator. That's not good. We know each other well.
Like, it is reported that Xi-Trump talks failed over Taiwan. After talks, Trump announced nuke testing by USA after 30 years. with a Nobel Peace Prize.
We're here in South Korea where President Trump just left on his way back to Washington, and the president says that he has reached a trade deal with China, although the Chinese have not confirmed details yet. Still, the president says that this meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping was a success.
I thought it was a great meeting. I think it was a very friendly meeting. It was a good meeting for two very large, powerful countries.
And that he's decided to lower tariffs on China from around 57% overall to 47%. Now, in return, Trump says that President Xi has agreed to postpone for a year new restrictions on the exports of critical rare earth minerals, which are commonly used in electronics like smartphones and TVs. And Trump says that Xi has agreed to help stop fentanyl trafficking into the U.S., as well as buy soybeans from American farmers again.
Like, political strategist Steve Bannon hinted at Trump getting a third term. Possible.
Well, he's going to get a third term. So Trump 28, Trump is going to be president in 28, and people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is. But there's a plan, and President Trump will be the president in 28.
That's Steve Bannon openly sharing with The Economist that there is a plan to get around the 22nd Amendment.
We have to finish what we started.
Trump himself has alluded to the possibility of serving a third term. He posted a video to social media showing him serving past a third term into an infinite number of years. Just last weekend, more than 7 million people showed up for No Kings rallies where they protested what they said is Donald Trump's growing unchecked power.
Like, do we take J.D. Vance's statement on his own Hindu wife not converting to Christianity as an expression of regret or a statement of pride? Just asking.
Eventually, that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way. But if she doesn't, then God says everybody has free will, and so that doesn't cause a problem for me. That's something you work out with your friends, with your family, with the person that you love. Again, one of the most important Christian principles is that you respect free will. Usha's closer to the priests who baptized me than maybe I am. They talk about this stuff. My attitude is you figure this stuff out as a family, and you trust in God to have a plan, and you try to follow it as best as you can. Now, you asked a personal question about our interfaith household. And yes, my wife did not grow up Christian. I think it's fair to say that she grew up in a Hindu family, but not a particularly religious family in either direction. In fact, when I met my wife, we were both, I would consider myself an agnostic or an atheist, and that's what I think she would have considered herself as well. You know, everybody has to come to their own arrangement here. The way that we've come to our arrangement is she's my best friend. We talk to each other about this stuff. So we've decided to raise our kids Christian. Our two oldest kids who go to school, they go to a Christian school. Our 8-year-old did his first communion about a year ago. That's the way that we have come to our arrangement. But, thank you. My 8-year-old was also very proud of his first communion. Thank you, guys. I'll tell him that Old Miss wishes him the best. But I think everybody has to have this own conversation when you're in a marriage. I mean, it's true for friends of mine who are in Protestant and Catholic marriages, friends of mine who are in, atheist and Christian marriages. You just got to talk to the only advice I can give is you just got to talk to the person that God has put you with, and you've got to make those decisions as a family unit. For us, it works out. Now, most Sundays, Usha will come with me to church. As I've told her, and I've said publicly, and I'll say now in front of 10,000 of my closest friends, do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way. But if she doesn't, then God says everybody has free will, and so that doesn't cause a problem for me. That's something you work out with your friends, with your family, with the person that you love. Again, one of the most important Christian principles is that you respect free will. Usha's closer to the priests who baptized me than maybe I am. They talk about this stuff. My attitude is you figure this stuff out as a family and you trust in God to have a plan and you try to follow it as best as you can.
Like Economic Times reports that Pakistan terrorist, Masood Azhar, is recruiting female jihadis to be sent to India. Danger signals.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
श्रेया नूर के कैरेक्टर से बाहर निकलो।
नमस्कार दोस्तों, पाकिस्तान की मिट्टी में कुछ तो खास है। वहां टेररिज्म भी इंक्लूसिव होता जा रहा है। अब देखिए ना, पहले जैसे मोहम्मद के मर्दों ने दुनिया को धमकाया, अब भाई साहब जेंडर इक्वालिटी के नाम पर लॉन्च कर रहे हैं जमात उल मोमिनात, यानी महिलाओं का अपना टेरर विंग। मतलब वाह, फेमिनिज्म का ये रूप तो तालिबान भी देखकर शर्मा जाए। लेकिन हम मसूद अजहर साहब से थोड़े खफा हैं,
बहुत ही रस्वा हैं।
अब जैशे मोहम्मद के मरकज उस्मान ओ अली हेडक्वार्टर से एक लीक्ड ऑडियो के जरिए पता चला कि उन्होंने अपनी बहनों का टेरर विंग बना के इक्वालिटी तो दे दी, पर मरने के बाद उन्हें जन्नत मिलने की दुआ कर रहे हैं। ये क्या बात हुई? मर्दों को 72 हुरे और मोमिनात को केवल जन्नत पास? ये तो बहुत नाइंसाफी हुई। मानो अब टेररिज्म भी बाय वन गेट वन फ्री स्कीम में बदल गया है। बस फर्क इतना कि हूरे वाली स्कीम सिर्फ मर्दों के लिए है। अब सवाल उठता है, इक्वालिटी कहां गई मसूद भाई? अगर मर्द मुजाहिद को 72 हूरे मिलती हैं, तो महिला मुजाहिद को क्या मिलेगा? वाईफाई पासवर्ड टू जन्नत। आप और हम सोच सकते हैं कि भाई औरतों को हूर क्यों नहीं मिल सकती, तो माना कि फीमेल मुजाहिद को हूर देना इस्लाम के खिलाफ है। लेकिन फिर ये कैसा जन्नत है जिसमें जेंडर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन भी साथ में इंक्लूडेड है? मतलब इक्वालिटी का सर्टिफिकेट तो इन्होंने बहावलपुर की फोटोकॉपी शॉप से बनवाया होगा। अब देखिए, अगर इनके रिक्रूटमेंट प्लान की बात करें तो ऑनलाइन क्लासेस होंगी हफ्ते में 5 दिन। इंस्ट्रक्टर मसूद अजहर की बहन उम्मी मसूद। वाह भाई, नेटफ्लिक्स के बाद ये पहला प्लेटफॉर्म है जहां सीजन 1 दौरा-ए तस्किया और सीजन 2 दौरा आयात उल निसा चल रहा है। बस फर्क इतना कि यहाँ बिंज वॉचिंग नहीं, बिंज रेडिकलाइजेशन होती है। वैसे इन महिला मुजाहिद को एक पैम्फलेट, अरे पैम्फलेट मेरा मतलब हमारा चैनल नहीं, एक आइडियोलॉजिकल पेपर पैम्फलेट पढ़ने को कहा गया है जिसका नाम है ए मुसलमान बहना। अब सोचिए, वही परिवार जो पहले आतंकी पैदा करता था, अब उनकी बहनें वर्चुअल जिहाद क्लासेस चला रही हैं। रिक्रूटमेंट का नया तरीका, घर की बेटियां घर की बॉम्ब बनाएंगी।
ये तो लेटेस्ट न्यूज़ है।
Moving on in a major policy shift, Bangladesh's interim government, led by Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus, is preparing to roll out the red carpet for controversial Islamic preacher and wanted Indian fugitive Zakir Naik. The Yunus-led administration has approved a month-long nationwide tour for Naik, marking his first ever visit to Bangladesh. According to event organizers, the tour, scheduled from the 28th of November to December 20th, has been officially approved by the government and is being facilitated by officials. Zakir Naik is expected to deliver a series of sermons across the country during the stay of his, and this move signals a striking departure from the policies of the previous Sheikh Hasina government, which had banned Zakir Naik's Peace TV following the July 2016 Dhaka Holy Artisan Bakery terror attack. That's the latest we're tracking. We'll of course keep an eye on the latest developments as far as the neighborhood is concerned.
Hours after launching airstrikes that Gaza health officials say killed 104 Palestinians, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared that the ceasefire with Hamas is back on. President Trump said he thought the strike was justified after a sniper killed an Israeli soldier in Gaza, but emphasized that, quote, nothing is going to jeopardize the ceasefire. He followed that up with another threat to Hamas, which refuses to disarm or give up control of Gaza.
You have to understand, Hamas is a very small part of peace in the Middle East, and they have to behave. They're on the rough side, but they said they would be good, and if they're good, they're going to be happy, and if they're not good, they're going to be terminated. Their lives will be terminated.
We should note Hamas denies involvement with the shooting of the soldier or violating the ceasefire at any point.
Like all French newspapers flashed pictures of ex-President Sarkozy entering jail to serve 5-year sentence. no protests. Possible in India?
The former president of France, Nicolas Sarkozy, has arrived at La Santé prison in Paris, where he'll serve a 5-year sentence for conspiring to raise election funds from Libya. Mr. Sarkozy, who was the president of France between 2007 and 2012, left his home alongside his wife, Carla Bruni, and was seen waving at his supporters as he was driven to the prison. He's consistently denied wrongdoing and is appealing. The former head of state, who's 70, will be placed in the isolation section of the prison.
Like, left-winger independent Catherine Connolly is set to be next president of Ireland.
I hereby declare Catherine Connolly elected to the office of President of Ireland.
I will be a president who listens and who reflects and who speaks when it's necessary, and a voice for peace, a voice that builds on our policy of neutrality, a voice that articulates the existential threat posed by climate change.
So, Catherine Connolly, everybody.
Like, remember NASA astronaut Buzz Aldrin, who got married at 93? Well, his 66-year-old wife, Anka 4, passed away.
In 1969, Aldrin accompanied Neil Armstrong during NASA's historic Apollo 11 mission, the first to land people on the moon. Aldrin retired from NASA in 1971 and has since become a vocal advocate for a manned mission to Mars. His partner, 4, is the executive vice president of Buzz Aldrin Ventures LLC. Aldrin said on Twitter that the two have been a pair for more than 4 years, traveling the world together and spending time with 4's grandchildren.
Like, in a week marred by injuries to sportspersons, Shreyas Iyer, Pradika Raval, and Shuttler Sindhu were injured.
मारा कहीं है गई कहीं और है what a catch सरपंच साहब क्या पकड़ा है आपने पीछे की तरफ भाग रहे थे गेंद उनसे दूर जा रही थी
पीछे भाग के ये बहुत अच्छा कैच उल्टा भाग के कैच पकड़ना सबसे मुश्किल कैच माना जाता है क्रिकेटिंग फील्ड में श्रेयस अय्यर का बेहतरीन कैच
हवा में फील्डर्स के बीच ओह ये अच्छे साइंस नहीं है प्रतिका रावल डीप मिड विकेट से
ये काफी सीरियस इंजरी लग रही है मुझे इस वक्त ओह दैट्स बैड
India's PV Sindhu was supposed to retire midway during her round of 16 match at the French Open, a BWF World Tour Super 715 Rennes, due to a knee issue. World number 10 Sindhu clinched the opening game 21-18 against Thailand's Katetong. However, at 1-1 in the second game, the two-time Olympic medalist needed some medical treatment on her left knee before she decided against continuing the match.
Indian women cricketers brought laurels by defeating Aussies in World Cup semi-final. It was Jemima Rodriguez's match. Hope they maintain the same form in final.
ऑस्ट्रेलिया को हराकर वर्ल्ड कप 2025 के फाइनल में जाने के बाद फुट कर रो पड़े हरमनप्रीत कौर और जेमिमा। जी हां दोस्तों, आज भारतीय महिला टीम ने इतिहास रच दिया है। ऑस्ट्रेलिया जैसी तगड़ी टीम जो 7 बार चैंपियन बनी है, जो 2021 से एक बार भी वर्ल्ड कप का मैच नहीं हारी है, उस टीम को आज भारतीय टीम ने हरा दिया है और कोई छोटा मोटा टोटल नहीं बल्कि 338 का टारगेट चेस किया है, जो कि सेमीफाइनल में बिल्कुल ही आसान नहीं होता। और इस चेस में सबसे पहले हरमनप्रीत ने कमाल की 89 रन की पारी खेली, लेकिन सबसे बड़ी मैच विनर जेमिमा थी, जिन्होंने एक 127 रन की पारी खेली और ऑस्ट्रेलिया की टीम को घुटने टेकने पर मजबूर कर दिया और भारत को एक शानदार जीत दिला दी। ये जीत कितनी बड़ी थी ये भारतीय टीम के रिएक्शन से ही पता चल गया था। कप्तान हरमनप्रीत तो अपनी आंसू रोक ही नहीं पाई, जेमिमा भी रोने लग गई। दोनों फुट कर रो रहे थे। दोनों के आंखों से आंसू रुकने का नाम ही नहीं ले रही थी। दोनों काफी भावुक हो गए थे। दोनों के देखकर बाकी खिलाड़ी भी इमोशनल हो गए। ये जीत सदियों तक याद रखी जाएगी।
Lazy Bee, November 1st, 2025.